Hi, everybody. It's Wednesday, and it's the 13th. And perhaps most importantly, we are now a week away from the official start of spring. It would actually be spring. I wouldn't climb out on that limb for anything. We do have some spring like storms in our forecasts, so it's possible. We'll know certainly in a few more days. Our forecast period actually gets us close to the first day of spring, and we'll be roughly in the low 50s with some sunshine. So we're getting there slowly but surely. It will be here someday. It will be here. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our three top stories this evening will be sitting down with McGoffin County Judge Executive Matt Wireman. He has some very bad news tonight, I am afraid, via FEMA's report and consideration of individual assistance for McGoffin Countyans, and he has an update on the public assistance. Public assistance refers to the county government and that of the city as well, but their reimbursement and their assistance with having county and city roads and the like repaired. It's individual assistance tonight, though. That will be, I'm sure, a significant interest to a lot of folks and individuals. We also have two updates. Another one on Mickey Wright, the 35-year-old formerly of McGoffin County. Now we'll tell you why his lawyers, after informing the judge and being granted a competency hearing yesterday that I told you, will now tell you why they are seeking for the whole case against him to be dismissed, and where he's charged of sexually assaulting a small child or children in Cambodia while he was serving as a teacher there. And an 80-year-old McGoffin County man who had been jailed for attempted rape and abuse or neglect of an adult has been rearrested today. I'll tell you why he was out and some more details on that in just a few moments. And besides their calendar and the weather and a few other things, that will about take the remainder of the program. Except to tell you that the Battle of Ivy Point, the next Civil War reenactment, has been set for next month, April the 12th, 13th, and 14th. So a month from now on the Gardner Farm at the Ivy Point Hill. It will start that Saturday. It is free. They've got all sorts of crafters lined up this year. They've got great food, the blacksmith, the leather maker, wood crafting. Of course, the reenactment is the center stage. Ladies' tea at noon. I'll go over the whole list with you, put it on our calendar, and we'll talk about it much more. But that is 1 month from today, April the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Let's get to our first top story this evening, a report from McGoffin County's Judge Executive, where he says that all roads are passable. Some, he says, barely, and to be honest, some a little scary or worrisome, but that they are doing their best to repair all. He says that he still has a great deal of projects left to do, 10 to 15 what he referred to as medium projects, which were big slips, the likes of which on Buck Branch, Half Mountain, and some other McGoffin County roads. He says there's still possibly up to 100 places in the McGoffin County road system where they will have to drive steel to fix where the earth has washed out from under our roads. He also goes on to give us some bad news. If you're an individual who has been hoping for some assistance from FEMA after your home was flooded or you had property damaged, well, that's the bad news I'm referring to.
We've got several big bridges that'll have to be built, not as big as the Lummi Lamaster. That's a pretty big one. We got to replace some head walls. We've probably got 10, 12 of those. We've got several culvert issues that are big culverts that's going to take some time, across roads, and any number of slips under the road that's going to take driving steel and putting the guardrails in and doing all that. We could have 75, 100 of those. Based on yesterday's preliminary assessments, the damage to the county is somewhere between $3 to $3.5 million as far as the public side of things go.
And Wireman also says that he and we have to keep in mind that there still hasn't been a federal declaration of emergency yet, even though it's expected and essentially a formality for public FEMA assistance, which we and other counties like Johnson have easily met the threshold thereof. However, he says, when it comes to individual assistance to help families whose homes, properties, roads, and other things were damaged or destroyed, we fell short of meeting that threshold, and we won't be getting any.
There's two different types of assistance that FEMA gives, and they wanted and asked us to have every individual report any damage that they had so that we could get all those numbers in. and there, like I said, there's two sides. There's public assistance, PA, and then there's IA, which is individual assistance. In order to meet the individual assistance, there has to be catastrophic damage. When they told us what information to gather, they said gather any and all. That's what we done. But apparently, based on the damage that we had, and we had some significant damage. But they told us yesterday when I called, I had to call actually down to Frankfort and talk to them down there at the individual assistance section, and they advised that we needed catastrophic damage and we didn't have it, and they defined that as the house was either a home completely destroyed, or damaged so that it was no longer could be inhabited, and you know, I asked them, well, what about these folks that's got water running through their homes and all the damage they got? And they said that we needed 75 to 80 homes in that range to qualify that had at least 18 inches of water in them. And I know we had some that had that much, but we didn't have near 75 or 80 that were damaged to that extent. What they have got and what they're going to do is send up a representative that deals with volunteers and volunteer organizations, and has resources for those folks to help get them what they may need. And he said that he'd be willing Thursday evening or Friday to come and meet with us and get here and do another one here so that he could be on your show and tell folks that. The thing that we asked about, that I asked about was, well, what about the folks that can't get in and out? We've been working on, you know, the public roads, getting people in and out, but we have a large number of folks whose culverts are washed out on the sides, or completely washed out, and they've had to replace them. And there's a public assistance side of that, but I don't know what the timelines are. We're still trying to find that out. It's a newer type program, they call it. I don't know how new, but a newer one. And apparently we can put it onto the public side of it for emergency vehicle access. So I'm actually on my way to Frankfort right now. I'm going to make some calls along the way, and we're working on trying to get that attached to our public assistance to fixing our county roads and public roads, so that we'll be able to hopefully, obviously no guarantees in this business, but hopefully that we'll be able to help those folks that have had issues getting in and out of their primary way to get in and out of their residence, that we should be able to provide some assistance either through contractors or through the county doing the work.
So you're talking about, that is
Private drive. A
property.
private drive. It has to be a emergency way in and out. If you've got one way across the creek to get to your home, is the way they explained it to me, then we may be able to attach it to the public side. There's going to be no individual assistance. You know, remember back in the Memorial Day flood when all the bridges and covers got washed out, they had contractors come through and fix all those. Well, I think that was on the individual side. That was catastrophic damage all over. We're not going to get that. If we get anything, we have to get this separate category section of public assistance to get that in. And what I'm concerned about is we're finding all this out as we go, and I'm hoping that we don't end up in a situation where we can't assist these folks because it's went 3-4 weeks. You know, at some point, when is that emergency to get in and out? You know, should I've already have done that or should I not? You know, they told me first, do not touch anything on private, and that's what they continue to tell me until we get this type of thing approved. And until there's a federal declaration, none of it's approved. So, and it could be that it don't happen. I mean, we may be sitting here with all these bad roads on the public assistance side too, and the county have $3.5 million worth of damage from this event, and this event is continuing at least through next weekend because they're forecasting rain Thursday.
Should Wireman have learned anything different today while at our state's capital, or when he has our next update, I will, of course, be the first to bring that to you. I'll be bringing you more headlines after these messages. It's tax time, and that means it's time to cut prices at Gateway Motors. Check out this gorgeous 2013 F-150 Crew Cab. Books for over $17. Their price $14,900. This 09 one-ton E350 van has got only 119,000 miles on it. They've got it priced at $7,900. It books for over $10,000. Come make them an offer. This 09 Chrysler 300's got leather, nav, heated seats, and more. $4,900. And this 06 Ford Explorer is in great shape. Only 84,000 miles, new tires and more, while they last at Gateway Motors in Sagersville.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
It's taking over. There's no escape. You better get moving. Ready or not, it's about to go down. Here it comes now. Get ready. Get ready. Moving. Ready or not, get ready.
It's a new day of deals every day at Parkway Gun & Pawn with an always new selection of like new musical instruments, power and hand tools, not to mention jewelry, games, guns and ammo, and popular hard-to-find electronics from Guitar Hero to amps to a pro-quality karaoke machine just in. It's all here today, gone tomorrow for pennies on the dollar at Parkway Gun & Pawn. Don't drive or let your family drive in this or this before doing this. Stopping at Conley Tire in Staffordsville for brakes, oil, alignment, and of course, tires. Thousands of tires in stock every day to fit anything with 6 months no interest financing and over 33 years of quality service with a smile. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Spring's here, well, at the seasonal shop with new arrivals in every department like women's mud pie and Charlie Page clothes, the perfect addition to your wardrobe. And Simply Southern is simply fully stocked, and they've got a lot of new items, new short sleeve tees, key rings, planners, caps, wallets, purses, and more. And speaking of more, Mary Square is at the shop. This beautiful line makes a perfect gift or a great way to brighten your day, featuring everything from Bible covers to notebooks to lanyards, badge holders, bottles, cups, and ID holders. And their home decor section is absolutely filled wall to wall with new arrivals, all to make your house the home you want it to be. All at Fraser's Prater Drugs seasonal shop. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. My other 2 top stories are forthcoming. I have a few details just coming in regards to one of the updates. So while we're awaiting that, let's go on to tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. I've got several new announcements this evening. Birthday for tomorrow. I'll hold that. Better not get myself in trouble. But here is tonight's community calendar. Again, brought to you by your local agent, Doug Green at McGoffin Farm Bureau. One last reminder that the McGoffin County chapter of Special Olympics will be underway and active tomorrow night at their first practice, but there's still time to register if you have an athlete or if you are an athlete who would like to do so. Simply call Circuit Clerk Tanya Ward, PVA Becky Allen, and they can get you registered, or go to SOKY.org, Special Olympics of Kentucky. Their first practice is tomorrow night at 4:30, and they'll practice every Thursday at 4:30 until their first competition next month. McGoffin County's Board for Substance Abuse Policy will meet in its regular session this coming Monday at noon at the McGoffin County Health Department. Lunch will be provided, and everyone in the public is invited to be a part of their efforts. And the Water into Wine Food Pantry will be back at it next week. Wednesday is their regular day, 8:30 till 3. Thursday is Senior Day, 8:30 till 3. And a reminder, you can only pick up commodities on Thursday after 12:30. And they ask that you please bring a laundry basket or a big toter box to carry your items in. And if you didn't recertify for senior commodities in February, make sure you do this month. And here's one coming up starting tomorrow night. The next free Hunter's Education and Bow Hunter class in Magoffin County starts tomorrow. It's Thursday and Friday, 6 to 9. They'll start again Saturday morning. And you can sign up for both the Hunter's Education course and the Bow Hunters class if you're 9 years of age or older. You don't have to bring anything with you, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You can call 349-7130 to register, or 496-6975, or go to fw.ky.gov and register there. And if you've got a calendar announcement and you need it on the show, birthdays and anniversaries too, this, as you probably well know by now, is how you tell me so I can tell everyone else about it. Turning to tonight's funeral service announcements brought to you by the Magoffin County Funeral Home. Services are set for tomorrow in honor of 74-year-old Ray Patrick, preceded in death by his wife, Eileen Fletcher Patrick, and daughter, Tammy Patrick. He's survived by his son, Anthony, and daughter, Deborah K. Scarberry. Services are tomorrow at 1 at the Magoffin County Funeral Home. And services are also going to take place tomorrow for 40-year-old Drusilla Lear Gwynn Compton of Winchester, who's survived by her husband Charles and son Charles II, and daughters Jasmine Lancaster and Alexandria Compton. Services will begin tomorrow morning at 11 from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. 76-year-old Irvin Allen Jr. of Long Creek passed away this week, preceded in death by his wife, Ethel Mae Brown Allen. He's survived by daughters Linda Sue Brown and Brenda K. Howard. Visitation is this evening, all day tomorrow, and services will be held Friday at 1 from the Magoffin County Funeral Home. 85-year-old Sue Ann Honaker Reisner of Burning Fork passed away this week, preceded in death by her husband Earl. She's survived by her sons Tim Honaker, Brian Keith Reisner, and daughters Cheryl Fletcher, Sharon Lemaster, Helen Cole, Diane Howard, and Lyda Kimbler. Visitation is going to be after 6 tomorrow from the Sagersville Funeral Home. Services will be Friday at 1 at the Bradley Free Will Baptist Church. And lastly, Jewel D. Jordan Ottinger, 63 of Sagersville, passed away on the 11th, survived by a sister, Patty Nichols, and a brother, Wendell Jordan. A memorial service celebrating her life will be announced at a later date by the Sagersville Funeral Home. And this last announcement comes in loving memory of Rodney Doherty, 2 years since he passed. Loved and missed greatly by grandkids, family, and friends.
Car wrecks, truck wreck, disability, workers' comp, slip and fall, wrongful death. Your case matters to you. Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Colorectal cancer is the number 2 leading cancer death in the U.S., with 90% of new cases in people 50 or older. And while people with family histories have 2 to 3 times greater probability of getting colorectal cancer, 80% of the new cases are in people without a family history. And Hope Family Medical Center wants to remind you that they're here with simple, easy, at-home fit testing so you can get the reassurance you need if you're over 50 or have a family history of colorectal cancer or just want to be sure. It's another way that Hope Family Medical Center wants you to be healthy. Call or come in today. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Here's just some of what's sizzling hot this week at your Sagersville Save Lot. Boneless pork sirloin chops are just $1.29 a pound. Boneless chicken breasts in the family packs, just $1.19 a pound. And not 1, not 2, but 10 pounds of sliced bacon for $14.90 each. Get navel oranges by the 3-pound bag for just $2.49 each. 3 pounds of yellow onions for just $1.49 each. Little Debbie cakes, 2 for $4, and Pepsi products, 3 12-packs for $11. At your Sagersville Save-A-Lot, where you can shop other incredible in-store specials every week with no gimmicks, just low prices. Ultra low carb and ultra tasty doesn't come together very often, but it has at your Sagersville Lee's with our new low carb plate. With tender all-white breast strips oven roasted in our famous spices, our famous green beans, and our new ham-seasoned cooked cabbage. And for a limited time, get $2 off with a coupon in this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent. That's right, save $2 and eat just about as many carbs at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. The flu and flu-like illnesses are widespread in Kentucky, and they're not going away anytime soon. So odds are, if you aren't or haven't been sick, you likely will be. And Parkway Pharmacy has exactly what we all need to fight it and any other cold or illness, from immune boosters for adults and children as young as 2 to all-natural homeopathics made right here in the United States of America. They can help prevent you from getting sick or get you fast relief if you already are. With great tasting and easy-taking gummies, powdered mixes, rapid-melting fruity tablets, and syrups at Parkway Pharmacy. An 80-year-old McGoffin County man was arrested again today after being released from jail after being arrested on serious neglect and abuse and attempted rape charges of an adult female. However, he was rearrested after being released intentionally from the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. It was there that he was sent after an insurance agent with, I believe, Medicare or Medicaid conducted a check at his residence, and after just having a conversation with them, believing he had laid the phone down, he did not. The line was still open, and the agent on the other end of that line listened and recorded, as it was done automatically, 43 minutes longer, and listened to verbal abuse and attempted rape of a mentally disabled adult in the home. Police and authorities described it to me on the day of his arrest as 43 minutes of excruciating, disturbing information to listen to, hard to listen to. And the authorities actually arrived at the residence after the insurance company called McGoffin County 911 and alerted the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department. Deputy Neil Adams actually made it to that residence while the line was still open and the entire situation was still unfolding more than 40 minutes later. 80-year-old Harvey Puckett had been jailed for weeks until saying that he fell ill in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, and as such was released on his own recognizance to be taken to the hospital for treatment, with the understanding and agreement that upon being released from the hospital, he returned back to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, where he is being held on those indictment charges of abuse or neglect of an adult and attempted rape. However, he failed to do so, and for the past several days, possibly up to 2 weeks, I'm uncertain of the time frame, but for several days and at least a week, say McGoffin County authorities, he has not been in the hospital nor in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, and authorities say that had it not been for a tip, they may not have found his whereabouts today. But he was located at a residence on Johnson Fork after a tip to the McGoffin County Sheriff's Department, and as such was arrested on an outstanding bench warrant in his name, as was set by the judge in the case, and taken back to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, where he awaits his next court proceeding. Yesterday's update on the case against Mickey Rife, a former McGoffin County man who had been teaching in Cambodia for several years, who upon return after losing his job was charged with sexual assault of a small child and possibly children pending the ongoing investigation. In that update yesterday, we spoke of a competency hearing which was granted by the judge after being requested on his behalf. Now his attorneys say in the most recent court filings that the case against him should be dismissed altogether. Rife was arrested around the first of the year after returning from Cambodia after being fired from his teaching position after the investigation and allegations of child sexual abuse began. After being detained here federally, he was ordered held, considered a danger to the public. He was indicted on 2 counts of engaging in illicit sexual conduct in a foreign place with a minor. He did, on behalf, or his attorneys on his behalf, made a motion for a revocation of the detention order that is still pending per the judge. No ruling has been returned as of yet. A trial date has been set for his case for April the 9th. And as I told you last night in that most recent update, he has requested a competency hearing. His attorneys saying that they believe he may be suffering from a mental disease or defect, rendering him mentally incompetent to the extent that he is unable to understand the nature and consequences of the proceedings against him and cannot properly assist in his defense. Now, in the most recent order, which we've obtained today, in the most recent development, his attorneys are requesting that the case be dismissed altogether. saying that the government's charges as applied to non-commercial sex acts such as Mr. Rife is accused of having committed, Congress exceeded its authority under the Foreign Commercial Clause, which the government is citing in this case against Rife. They say that Rife did live in Cambodia for several years, and he's alleged to have molested students there after having lived there for some time and establishing a family and a home, saying that he was not a tourist. He didn't travel there for the purpose of engaging in these acts, and he is not alleged to have given anything of value to the victims, and that Rife did not use the channels or instruments of foreign commerce to accomplish these alleged sex crimes, and he was not in foreign commerce when the alleged acts were committed. So they say that the 2-count indictment against him should be dismissed because Congress acted beyond its constitutional authority. Two things before I leave you tonight. I'll get to the second after the first. The first being tonight's weather forecast as brought to you by Licking Valley RACC, where the National Weather Service, per their most recent update, essentially says, hey, this is nothing new here. We have another impactful weather maker. High winds and storms. Temperatures are going to fall behind it after they surge tomorrow into the mid-70s for your 14th day of March. We're going to escape any conditions tonight that far western parts of Kentucky might start to get in on, but we will see bumpy conditions tomorrow evening, and we are likely to see with that some significant winds, hoping that that will be a line that will be drawn somewhere in the 35-mile-per-hour range, and not maybe 50 or 60 like some folks are seeing with a strong line that will be coming through parts of Kentucky tomorrow. We're not expected to see any of the action tonight. Partly cloudy skies and a low of 54, and only a southeasterly wind 5 to 7 miles per hour. But tomorrow things will pick up and warm up. A 30% chance of showers, mainly in the afternoon. Right now, the Weather Service is picking right around 2 o'clock or thereafter. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, mostly warm. We're talking about 75 degrees out and ahead of this setup. And with that, winds out of the south, normal 8 to 17, gusts close to 40 miles per hour at times. You'll want to keep an eye on your weather tomorrow afternoon, with rain and thunderstorms likely tomorrow night for the viewing area, and winds still out of the south, anywhere up to 10 to 30 miles per hour at times. And if you see some of those thunderstorms, you could see some winds even heavier than that. Rainfall amounts up to a ½ an inch, except for some isolated thunderstorm activity areas, with Friday starting off on a wet note early. A 30% chance of rain before 8. Otherwise, I think we'll see partly sunny. Temperatures are going to fall back to about 59 with a west wind maybe 5 to 10 to 23 miles per hour at times. Friday night, clouds, a low of 32. Winds still kicking out from the west up to 20 mile per hour gusts. But your weekend is still looking pretty calm and pretty nice. A bit different though. We're still looking at the upper 40s with sunshine on your Saturday, clear skies, upper 20s that night. We do have now a 10% chance of rain Sunday, mainly after 3, but still sunny skies, still mid to upper 40s, and only a 30% chance of showers after we're all fast asleep Sunday night. That is, however, a prelude of some shower and snow chances on your Monday, as we will be below freezing, as we expect to see some precipitation still in the air. So a chance of some snow early, changing over to some rain. Not a big weather maker here, with a daytime high of right around 49 degrees Monday, and the low that night of 30. Next Tuesday, sunny and 51. Wednesday, mostly sunny and 53, but with a slight chance of some showers. Before I say goodnight, it's Wednesday, which means let me say this, just a very few of the things coming out in tomorrow's edition of the Salyersville Independent. Did you know that we have an archery, I don't want to say if it's a class or not, I believe it is, but we have an archery instructor who is a teacher at the Harold Whitaker Middle School. We have 3 students who have been invited to participate at the state level. We also have more on the fire on Gun Creek that destroyed a McGoffin County home, a couple of updates in regards to a couple of cases that I touched on tonight, and there was an honor guard, the honor guard from the tomb of the unknown soldier who had served in that capacity in Salyersville to speak before a group yesterday afternoon, and our editor Heather Oney was among them. made for a really interesting report. The Saginaw High School reunion is a feature this week. More on that, more on FEMA, more on the upcoming reenactment. And we'll go back to just 1995, not that long ago, in our historic page brought to you by Attorney Grover Arnott. Saving the old John T. Arnott School as a focus, I think. All that and more in tomorrow's paper. Hope you get one as soon as you can, and hope to see you back here tomorrow night for more of Your News Today. Thanks for watching.